Yo, 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 this is Marlo. You're watching Buttered Popcorn and my review for The Penguin, Episode 1. Before we get started, please drop a like, hit that subscribe if you like my reviews, leave a comment, tell me what you thought about this episode. I was blown away by Matt Reeves, the Batman. I liked Robert Pattinson. Colin Farrell was amazing. John Turturro, everybody involved with that film, including the direction and cinematography, to me was amazing, and I believe that it is the best Batman film. Yes, better than The Dark Knight, I know. Hot take. But I was very excited when The Penguin was announced, and I was like, we're getting, continuation or addition of this Batman universe that I really enjoyed. I am pretty disappointed. Penguin takes place right after the Batman film ends, and Gotham is just like reeling from the attacks from the Riddler. The city was flooded, and now there's this power struggle with Carmine Falcone being killed by the Riddler. Not by his hands, but the Riddler set it up. And Luca Falcone, Carmine's son, is taking the reins from his father. The Penguin is trying to get in on it. He's trying to establish himself as the number one crime boss of the Gotham underworld. And that's where we pick up. Matt Reeves created this kind of gritty, dark, messed up, creepy, drug crime-ridden world of Gotham that we all know and love. And Gotham was basically a character in the first film. The mystique, the mystery, the pacing, the horror of Gotham and all its villains was so perfectly executed by Matt Reeves that this is just a complete letdown. Penguin in the Batman movie, played by Colin Farrell, who is a great actor, was perfect. And he was so menacing, and he didn't speak much, but you could just tell this dude was a badass. This dude was one of the scariest motherfuckers in this universe. And the interactions he had with Batman in the movie were just brilliant. The chase scene, he was just so gross. And, Selena Kyle was working for him and all that stuff. So it's uninspired. It copies the tone, it tries to copy the tone and the lighting of Matt Reeves' moody and kinetic film, The Batman, but offers a severely bargain bin generic copy. Where Matt Reeves had some pretty amazing tone and lighting that reminded me of a David Fincher clone, which is a compliment in my opinion, and interesting camera work that flowed and enhanced the dark chaos of Gotham. The directing and cinematography of The Penguin is largely boring, slow, and makes Gotham feel like any generic big city in the US.
Makes no goddamn sense.
With power hitters Colin Farrell and Kristen Milotti, we could have had some really intense and savage performances, but we're left with two great actors just being wasted in what should have been a continuation of Matt Reeves' great directing, but instead it just does not come close. We should have had these great performances from Colin Farrell, and he reprises his role, but I believe he suffers from a bad script. It almost takes away from everything we established in the Batman movie. I kind of see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Oz Cobb this sympathetic anti-hero, but it just doesn't work. The writing is just not up to par. And of course, I'm going to keep referencing the Batman Matt Reeves film. While I 100% don't expect The Penguin to be as good as that film, it needs to be in that same universe. It needs to be in the same ballpark at least, but I just didn't feel like these films and the show were connected at all. One of my favorite characters of all times, a villain, is Christoph Waltz's Colonel Hans Landa, and he's smart, manipulative, horrifying, witty, and likable without having to show him talk to his mother and give her jewelry. In my opinion, it came down to the script just being bad. some of Penguin's lines are just kind of boring and cringeworthy. And despite Colin being such a good actor, he cannot salvage this poorly written character. On top of that, they try to build this relationship with this kind of hoodlum, Victor. It's played by Renzi Feliz, and I believe this is a huge miscast. This kid is like a petty thief who Oz meets, and he does this stuttering thing that is so fake and just annoyed me. And I can't stand that in movies and shows when this happens, when you can tell the actor is just really trying so hard to seem nervous and meek, and they default to using this stutter. And I don't know if that was direction or the actor's choice himself, but it just does not work.
Yeah, I can do it. Huh? I can do it.
He seems way too clean-cut of a person. I understand it's acting, but I don't get a feeling that this kid would be involved in any sort of crime at all. And maybe that's the whole point, that they're trying to set up this kind of good, clean-cut kid. But it just feels fake. We need to, as an audience, believe that these characters are capable and fit into what they're doing, and it just did not feel it. And there's this, they're trying to build Oz Cobb, the Penguin, up to being this sympathetic dude, and they're doing it by showing him that he's caring with his mother and showing his sense of humor and his relationship with his new kind of sidekick. Kristen Milotti, who I adore, especially in her role in Black Mirror, I believe she's miscast as Sophia Falcone, Carmine Falcone's daughter. She's supposed to be menacing and threatening and scary as well. And it's kind of the same thing with that other side character, Victor. She's just doesn't seem like she can properly play this menacing, badass mobster daughter. So it really just kind of falls flat with those two characters especially. And Colin Farrell is great as an actor, but the script is just so bad. They're just trying way too hard to show him as this sympathetic anti-hero that it almost makes his performance seem bad. And there's too much talking, too much dialogue, not enough action. This is where the problems really come from. The writing is just not very good. And I believe that they rushed this script because they wanted to build on what was a great success with The Batman. They tried to get the show out before the second movie came out and the second movie was done and build off the hype, but they rushed it. They needed more time to let this simmer. And Matt Reeves, I don't know how involved he was, but he should have been more involved. I thought the show could have started 20 to 30 minutes into the first episode, and it was just boring. And you need to get the viewers involved right away. And they just didn't. It was just expository. You could see what was going to happen coming from a mile away. It's not like the opening of Inglourious Bastards where, yes, they're sitting and talking, but there's weight behind the words. There's subtext. There's this feeling of unease, of suspense. And the writers did not know how to build that. The first episode drones on way too long with boring scenes of expository dialogue, people sitting down and talking with almost no movement and action. I don't need shootouts and fights, but this kinetic energy that was so important in the Batman is just completely lost in the Penguin first episode. The setup should make me want to yearn for that second episode. Instead, I'm debating if I should even continue. The true letdown is having a supremely talented duo of Colin Farrell and Kristen Milotti together and waste it. It should have been an easy knockout, but the heavy expository script with meandering, boring scenes and attempt to make Oz Cobb the sympathetic anti-hero just totally falls flat and makes the first episode almost unwatchable. There were so many times where I considered turning it off or I was looking at my phone, and that really just shows that it wasn't engaging enough. I really hope it picks up in the second episode, but I do not have high hopes. I will watch it just to see where it goes, but honestly, if the second episode is anything like the first, I'm probably not going to continue this. Anyways, thank you for watching my review on the first episode of The Penguin. Let me know in the comments if you liked the show or if you're going to watch it, and peace out.